Hello, it's July 14. Today is day 30 something, and I'm playing with my setup today. And also, I have a thought on my head of like, who am I? Like a bit of an identity crisis. So let's explore let's explore that together, shall we? Um, so if you've been following along, like this whole journey has really been, um, I guess, if I think back to the last 30 days or so, there was kind of this whole journey of like, oh, I don't really know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And then kind of like, oh, I do know what's going on. I've done some work, but then I'm like kind of like flip flopping back and forth. I talked a little bit about like how um, like putting a message out there is a little bit challenging because it's like something brand new. It's something that I'm not like previously doing. And because it's my own thing, it's also not like a role or a job that I've applied for. So it's not like you show up on day one and be like, hey, hello, like this is me and I'm about to do this thing. It's kind of like carte blanche. Um, what's that? Tabula rasa, like blank slate. And I'm just kind of like sitting here trying to figure myself out. So then one of the important things about um, one of the important things about figuring out where you want to go is knowing what the direction is, like where your compass is pointing, like who are you, what's your identity. And I think that that's sometimes like very easy to forget about, um, because like I would have an idea. I'm like, I know that I can do these things. I've had conversations with clients, with friends, with people that I've helped along the way, whether they're students, other pharmacists that I've kind of precepted or mentored over the last number of years. And in that space, it's kind of easy for me to step into that teacher role, that mentor role. That's one of the things that I really love. I love to teach and I love to share. So then when I'm showing up in a format like this, there's like all sorts of other labels that are kind of coming up from the background of like, what am I? Like, am I a content creator? Am I something else? Like, am I just running a program? Are these ads? Are these whatever? And it's kind of a lot. Maybe the easiest way to think about it is um, when you step into a new role, a new environment, a new space, you might feel like you're like out of place a little bit. From a human design lens, that could potentially speak to your identity center or your G center. It's one of the little triangles. No, it's one of the little diamond shape. It's like a square, but shaped like a diamond in the middle of your chart. And when this is defined, it means you have a fixed sense of identity, that you kind of have this usually an innate knowing or sense of who you are. And if it's open, it means that you're open to sampling different kind of like themes and personalities, and you can get wise to and understand who's authentic and who's not, and like kind of who's being true to themselves. On the flip side, though, it means that when you enter into different spaces, um, you're kind of like open to kind of taking on different personalities and not like changing your personality, but you might flex to fit in. And that's the position that I often found myself in the past, where I would enter into a new space or meet new people, and it would be pretty easy for me to kind of try to be something else, to be like, oh, like who do I have to be in this moment to fit in? And that's not always the best way for me to show up. Like there's an element of it when I'm like, it makes it easy to fit in, but at the same time, am I operating from like who I am? And that question kind of, it's like a question that's been kind of in the back of my mind a lot until I discovered human design. When I discovered human design, utilizing strategy and authority, and understanding the projector nature of my aura in my experience, I can now engage in social situations, engage with people a lot more confidently, because I know that for me as a projector, I can wait for the invitation. So I can just go into a space and have a good time and enjoy myself. And when the time is right, the people who recognize me and want to hear from me will invite me into the conversation. I found that to be true across the board. It's kind of taken me away from this place of like really feeling like I have to insert myself. Like, sitting on the sidelines, listening into a conversation and be like, hey, like I have this great point, let me get in there. And in the past, I know that when I had that experience, I would kind of like try and insert myself, and then it would just kind of like fizzle out because the time wasn't right. But now, if I wait for my moment and share the things that it's like the same information that I'm sharing, I wait for the right moment, then it turns out that for whatever reason, and I like to think of it energetically as it resonates better, and it resonates better. So it's just a nicer experience for me, and that becomes one of that signature theme of success, of feeling like I'm in flow, I'm like doing the thing that I need to be doing. So entering into this space of like online, YouTube, social media, it's like, how do I show up? Like, who am I in front of this camera? I'm like in my own space, and there's nobody really here. So then it's almost like I'm left to my own devices. On one hand, there's like, I could be me, like whatever that means, right? But then on the other, like somewhere in the back of my mind, again, there's that sense of like who, it's kind of like a sense of like, hey, like maybe you want to show up in a certain way so that people will see you in a certain way so that they can, in like, they can be like more familiar with you, or like more maybe showing up. The only thing that's coming to my mind is showing up in a more palatable way. And that kind of makes me think of, it kind of hit me the other day when I was watching either television or TikTok or something like that, where like news announcers and people who like host shows and stuff like that have like this very specific like way of communicating for whatever reason. It must be like some way to like hold attention or something like that. And I'm sometimes like pausing and thinking, I was like, am I trying to emulate that? Am I trying to do like a really like a really bad version of that? Because like that's not who I am. This is a little bit more close to how I would engage with people. And I think that's the energy that I'm trying to bring. So there's one level of like, how do I show up? And then the other level of like, what am I trying to be in this moment? Like, what do I want? Who am I existing as in front of you here? Like, am I like a salesperson? Am I trying to sell you something? And that doesn't really resonate well with me. For me, what makes the most sense is to teach and share information and to clarify information and to take complex ideas and simplify them down and put them in ways that are like immediately practical and pragmatic for you as a listener to engage with. So there's like the simplicity of a message, that's one thing. But then the other part of it is like, I find I have this way of communicating or talking that kind of just kind of, I don't want to say drones on, but sometimes it kind of like goes. And like in some ways there's a bit of a purpose to it, where it's like I'd love to, like, the way that I share information is usually I will just dump information on you, not with the expectation that you'll remember every little single thing that I say, but overall, all of this messaging is coming down to a very specific, like focused into a specific message, right? So I think that I'm starting to kind of get to this place where I'm clarifying like who I am and what I'm doing and all of this stuff. And I'm starting to get ready to record my program, the Heisen Transformation, taking you from burnout to brilliance. If you have struggled with burnout, if you're in a place where you're like overwhelmed and you feel like you're not living the life that you want to live, this program's for you. This program will take you from that place and move you into one where you can step forward in your true brilliance and shine as the you that you want to be. So that's kind of like what this setup is. I think I mentioned I was playing with lights the other day, and I got like a whole bunch of lights. I bought a lot of lights over the last number of years, and with the intention of kind of setting up something like this. Um, so this I'm pretty happy with. I could probably start, clean up some of the background, and kind of move from there. Um, and that's probably where I'll go from. I'm at a place where I've outlined the program that I want to share with you, and I know that it will be my intention is to present the information in a way where you can use this immediately, notice a change immediately, and have the steps for you to take this ongoing and repeat and repeat and repeat, so that you can continue to peel back the layers anytime that you come across something that you're not happy with, or like you notice a limiting belief. So you can learn how to move through that. And I will give you all of those tools. So there's 3 steps into this program. The first is to be seen clearly. First, to be seen by yourself so that you can show up clearly. You know kind of who you are meant to be and how you can show up that way so that other people can see you clearly as well. The second step is to dissolve limiting beliefs, because the limiting beliefs are really the things that hold us back. It's like a beliefs are all over. It's kind of what gives our world context. It's what you believe will become your reality. So if I'm showing up here believing that I'm not ready to speak in front of an audience, if I show up that I'm nervous, then I may come across that way. And if I want to show up as I'm comfortable in front of the camera, I can say and do whatever that I want, not worry too much about if I'm rambling on or whatnot, and just kind of go with the flow, I can also be that way. The third step is to build unshakable confidence. And what that looks like is to see yourself on paper, online, and in person exactly as you want to see yourself. So what that third phase of the Heisen transformation will do is look at like paper forms of your representation. So that might look like a resume, a cover letter, or something that you've written. You could be showing up online on social media, like if you want to connect with an audience. I know that's because social media is becoming more, well, she's like, social media has been around for a long time. And your presence online can influence how other people see you, especially if you're looking at things like LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram. It's like, how do I show up there and why? It's not that you have to, but there's that option. And then if you're building a personal brand, if you're building a website, if you have like the passion to do something, then define the languaging that makes sense for you. So initially, we'll focus on leadership and leaders, people who are emerging leaders who are looking to upgrade their skills. And that's where all those like resume, cover letters, all of that stuff will come in. What I've found is over the last number of years, I've been able to find a way of representing myself representing my values and my beliefs and my like flavor of my leadership and how I want to show up in different spaces in resumes and in cover letters, as well as other writing. And I think sometimes those pieces of writing, it can get a little bit stressful if you're not clear on what to do. So, or it can feel fake, like I'm just trying to be something that I'm not. I'm trying to represent myself in a way that's not really true to myself. So that's the program. And when you clearly understand yourself, you clearly see yourself, you remove the limiting beliefs, and you can see yourself on paper, in person, and online, showing up the way that you want to be. All of these things will add together and continue to feed back. So you will always feel more and more like yourself. You can sit into your signature, really live from your core essence. And this is all a little bit of a practice run, right? Of like sharing some information out. And I don't know if you notice, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable in talking about this. So I'm happy about that. And I'm also happy about this setup. It's funny how all of these things come together, right? Like there's a whole bunch of different pieces that have led to like this particular setup. And some of it is just letting go of like specific things that I thought that I wanted to have. So like I have a teleprompter and a SLR camera set up over there in the corner, which I do love, and it has like a great depth of field and all of this. It looks really great. But then I also have this one, this Osmo DJI Osmo Pocket 3 that's just a wonderful camera. It's like 4K and set up here nicely. Nice sharp image. It helps with the lighting, right? The lighting makes a huge difference. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited. And this is probably a good place to kind of keep going off from. I've started working on my emails, kind of putting that into order so that if you want to sign up for my email list, you want to pull your chart from my website, you can, and kind of stay in touch with me that way. And what do I want to see? I would love to live in a world where we can all feel comfortable being ourselves, knowing who we are, feeling comfortable to be ourselves, and to create spaces that are safe so that we and others can all be ourselves together. And I believe the Heinzen transformation is the first step to that. The first step is always to do the self-work, because if we are not in a good place, then we are not in a good place. How can we be? It's kind of like that idea of garbage in, garbage out. It's if you don't have good foundations, then you don't have good foundations. Life can be a little bit challenging. So let's go explore. So I feel like I'm in a good place now where I can start creating some content that's more content specific, like more teaching content, in addition to continuing these logs because they're fun. And this is what I said I would do at least for the next 90 days. And I think it's good it's been a good experience for me to go through that practice of getting in front of the camera, being able to set up the camera, do it in different spots, get comfortable in all of these things. And this is like the practice of it, right? So with this program, it's going to be online. It will be practical and pragmatic. And what that means is you will be engaging with the program almost like right from the get-go. The idea is you have a strategy and authority, and when you implement that into your life, you practice it and you feel into it, you can move into your signature self. You can show up as who you are meant to be, which means you are operating from your core essence. Your core essence. So these are the things that are all coming along. Having fun with this. I just love, I like playing with like technology, right? Like I got different colors and stuff. These remotes are really handy, like technology these days. I remember, I said this years ago. Sorry, I'm just in the middle of something. I just said this years ago, a while ago, but it used to be more. Yeah, I'm just in the middle. I said this a little while ago, but I said this a little. I'm going to finish on this thought. I swear, I promise. You probably shut off by this time, but I said that. Yeah, lighting technology has come so far. Everything is just so much more accessible these days, which is really nice. I think that comes with a lot of different costs, I guess, like maybe hidden costs and stuff like that. I can't be mad at what I have though. So I'm going to take a pause there. I think there's stuff going on outside. So I'm going to take a pause there. I'm going to tear down this setup, and we'll see where the next couple days take me. It's time to get to work.